It's time for season 3. Welcome, everyone, to the premier sim racing Outlap Motorsports Truck Series here live on Green Flag TV. Welcome into the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We'll be here tonight. Myself and Emmett Crow on the call. Dustin and Ollis pushing the buttons, making us look and sound good down in the production truck. Well, you see, we're working out a couple snafus on the opening week here of the show, but we'll get it going. Let's take a look at the schedule, Emmett. It's a pretty cool schedule, pretty wild. So, New Hampshire, Kansas, Charlotte, the Oval, by the way, not the Roval this year. Chicagoland makes an appearance. Talladega, Martinsville, Phoenix, Michigan, Coda, and Auto Club. So I guess if you're a fan of, I guess, mile and a half or bigger racetracks, this is the season for you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Derrick, the few races I got to do with you in this series, we had some unbelievable finishes, and we also had Richard Regan just dominating, but I'm excited to get this season underway for sure.
Well, we'll see who does win this season. Keep in mind, season 1 and 2, we've had different season-long winners, but we also have a different thing to race for in season 3. We have the playoffs. This is comprised of drivers who did well in season 1 and 2 combined. They did the minimum number of races, and they're in the playoffs. You'll see their names indicated by the orange markers on our standing ticker. So we're in the round of 16. 3 races. It's New Hampshire, Kansas, and Charlotte. We'll knock off 4 drivers, and we'll keep going until at the end of the season, we not only crown a season 3 champion, but we crown a playoff champion. A fun, exciting format here. You see the 16 names there. We have a second graphic. If you want to take a look at that as well. It shows you where everyone is on the cut line currently. So Brownlee, Holly, Richard Regan, no surprise. Season 2, Season 1 champions. Ted Lowendick's up there. James O'Brien. Then you get over to the other side, Emmett. Look at that. 2 points already on the cut line to start. Morgan to Colton Lane. 7 back to Hunter. 8 to Doug Evans. 8 back to Dustin Bumgarner. So on race 1, that cut line is already tight.
Yeah, it's very tight, and, a lot of trucks can get some good points, but look at Bradley Hawley, Bradley's been really fast in the last 2 seasons, and really awesome to see him up at the top of the board for sure.
Yep, smallest spoiler, by the way, P10, Matt Gagnon not here tonight. He's off running in the iRacing College Series, so he'll fall below the cut line, most likely, when this night is over. Well, before we get into some qualifying action, we need to go ahead and do the normal thing and say thank you and hello to our Season 3 sponsor. So that said, we're going to start with Outlap Motorsports. At Outlap, motorsports is more than just a hobby. It's therapy. They know the garage, the paddock, and the driver's seat can be a safe space for you. So that's why Outlap proudly supports men's mental health and encourages drivers to check in with themselves and each other. Because what happens off the track matters just as much as what happens on the track. Outlap Motorsports.
All right, and next our race sponsor, Kaylee's Creations, Sweet Creations 125. Kaylee's Sweet Creations serves up homemade treats that taste just as good as they look. From cupcakes and cookies to custom desserts for any occasion. Every creation is baked with love and crafted to bring a smile. Proudly serving the New England area, Kaylee's is your go-to for sweet moments made even sweeter. Find Kaylee's Sweet Creations on Facebook to place an order or check out the latest goodies.
And I also want to say thank you to Hyperion Racing. Hyperion Racing is a top-tier esports team competing at the highest levels of sports car racing on iRacing. With a focus on endurance and team events, the team is built for performance and results. While sports car racing is our battleground, oval racing has always been a part of our identity and our blood. From short tracks to super speedways, Hyperion Racing applies the same strategy, precision, and competitive edge to every race. Hyperion Racing, believe the hype. I want to say once again, thank you to our sponsors for this evening as qualifying wraps up here. So a different moment is going to happen here tonight. Emmett, we're going to start the race with a bit of a somber tribute as we begin our qualifying process. We're going to have a special parade lap for one of our own in the league, Mike Tumer Jr. His mother recently passed away. So we're going to take a moment when we come off the grid. We're going to be a little bit of a different process here. We're going to come off the grid. We're going to let Mike take the lead in honor of his mother. And then we're going to go 3 wide behind Mike and pay tribute for that first pace lap. So, Emmett, one of the beautiful things of iRacing is at times we get to use our paint schemes, our cars, our liveries to help celebrate things like this.
Yeah, definitely. All my, tough news to hear from Mike Tumer, and my prayers personally are going out to Mike and the Tumer family for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to get that lined up. After that pace lap is complete, Mike returns back to his space. We'll do our normal festivities of going through the starting grid and the weather, the temperature, keys to race, and what have you. But happy you're here with us here on Green Flag TV. We're here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. One of the tracks that did receive the NASCAR refresh, as iRacing is calling it. So you see some of the new curbing through this B-roll shot. You see the new entrance, well, not new entrance, but the, I guess, rescanned, redesigned entrance to the road course out there. So lots going on. All right, well, we're going to get ready for the pace lap in just a moment. Happy here with us, and happy you're here for Season 3 of Premier Sim Racing. And we'll see when this pace lap does get on moving. We'll go down trackside and celebrate the life and memory of Mrs. Tumer. Just waiting on a couple of last drivers to show up to the grid, and we'll be ready to start this pace lap procedure. A beautiful facility here at New Hampshire, a awesome racetrack. It seats thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, in fact, and offers some pretty great racing. Offers a little bit of a super speedway longish style, a little bit of draft down your straightaways, Emmett, and then Martinsville style corner. So here goes Mike Tumer out to the right side. He'll take the lead on this pace lap, and you'll see him get lined up here. And we'll see him take to the front here in that J-Loss Racing number 42. He's got the ribbon on the back, Emmett, to celebrate Alzheimer's, and that has got his mother's name there on the car, 1955 to 2025. So from Monica Tumer, lived an amazing life, I'm sure. And Mike's going to move up to the front of the field here in just a moment, and we'll be ready to start this honorary silent pace lap. So, Emmett, again, as you see the ribbon there on the car, it's a great way for people to celebrate loved ones or causes or what we believe in iRacing, and a pretty cool way for Season 3 to start.
Yeah, great way to start. With the Alzheimer's Association on the side of this truck, and then, of course, like you said, the ribbon on the deck lid. This is a truly remarkable moment for sure.
All right, we'll begin our lap of silence. We'll focus on the 42 car and Mike Tumer. So as the lap of silence comes to a close, we'll now begin our normal pace car procedures here at New Hampshire. We'll take a moment and step back and look at tonight's Profit Python starting grid for this race. Up on the pole is Bradley Holly, number 184 car. He's next to Mark Kaylee in the 62. That's first and second. Back in row 2, you'll find James O'Brien next to Ted Lowendick. Ted's in a newly designed car for Season 3. Reese Bogue starts back in P5 in the 4 car next to Robert Barney in the 26. James Morgan is in the 12 car, is still in his Ohio State colors from last season. He's next to Thomas Sink back in the 48. Kyle Dewey is back this season to 33. He'll be next to the 3 of Jacob Dunn.
Yeah, in 11th, we're going to find Brandon Walter in the 99, lined up next to Richard Regan Jr., the head honcho himself, in 12th. In 13th, you're going to find Dustin Bumgarner lined up next to Stephen Loving, out of the Microsoft truck now and back into a different scheme. As then we see Jacob Watson lined up next to Mike Tumer Jr. in 16th. 17th, you're going to find the 816 of Nicholas Acosta lined up next to the 51 of Jeff Evans. And Evan Williams will line up in 19th, lining up next to the Tropicana machine of Zach Burt.
P21, Stacy Hunter next to Zach Williams in P22. P23, Daniel Knight is next to Colton Easterday, returning back in here in P24. 25th, Nick Byers next to Nick Seraf in P26. P27, last on the grid is Nicholas Hunter, and that rounds out tonight's Profit Python starting grid. You know, at Profit Python, every second counts on the track and in the world of deals. That's why Profit Python delivers. It's the ultimate Discord for deal hunters and side hustlers with lightning fast alerts on price drops, secret sales, and hidden jackpots. The race to profit is on. Scan the QR code. Profit Python. Strike fast. Profit faster. Speaking of faster, the green flag is out. We are now into turn number 1. Bradley Holly digs it on down in next to Mark Kalen 62. And the race at New Hampshire has begun. Oh, caution's out for the first time here on lap number 1. Big wreck in the back. See Nicholas Acosta involved. Then Stacey Hunter, I think I saw back there. And more trucks involved. I mean, it didn't take long. That actually might be Acosta's teammate in James Morgan back there. I think I see parked in the back of that field. Well, yeah, that didn't take long.
I was about to say, yeah, it didn't take long at all. And I was just waiting until, as we take a look at the replay, oh, look at that. The 12 just got loose right there, Derrick, and nowhere for anyone to go.
Nope, Kyle Dewey got inside of him. Jeff Evans, I think, got involved, and then some more trucks here got involved. I think there's a second incident, however, up ahead of that, because, I mean, right there's the wreck on the bottom of the track. So, nope. Lap 1, caution 1 here at New Hampshire. Here's the second part of the wreck. This is going to be Nicholas Acosta in that yellow and brown.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
This spinning. Oh, boy. Acosta tried to slow down, and then he got hit from behind from there. Well, a few trucks, are going to come down pit road, and they'll get some service on those trucks that have damage. But while we do that, I should also thank another sponsor here this evening, Emmett. We're going to go ahead and thank Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography. You know, every race, Mr. Hedge delivers amazing photos from our previous race for the Outlap Motorsports Truck Series. We finished up at Darlington a few weeks ago. We did a whole college night. We had drivers in their alma maters or favorite trucks to represent schools they root for in college football. So you'll see different paints come by here. We see Baylor University, Ohio State, Alabama was represented, Tennessee, and many, many more. University of Oregon right there in the back of the cars. And it's a pretty cool night, pretty colorful night to round out Bradley Holly's championship run at Darlington. You know, sim racing is full of... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, I was noticing there, Derrick, and somebody actually put Brutus on a truck.
They did.
Wow.
You know, sim racing is full of unforgettable moments just like that. And Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography can help you capture them all. From first wins to fresh liveries to even those crashes you'll never forget. Mr. Hedge turns virtual racing into memories worth sharing. Clean, sharp, and made for sim racers. Visit mrhedge.co.uk for more information. Well, we're just about ready for the one to go here at New Hampshire. Emmett, Brownie Holly has chosen the inside lane. I don't think that's a surprise.
Yeah, I don't think that's a surprise either. We're just getting this race started, so there's not as much rubber put down yet, Derrick. So, yeah, the inside line here definitely early on is the way to get around this track for sure.
Well, Mark Kaylee is trying to kind of nudge up there and keep up there with the pace limit and to make sure he has a fair run. So it's Holly, Kaylin, Lowendick, O'Brien, and Barney, your top 5 as we go green. Holly got the big jump here. He seems already up a couple tenths of a second over Mark Kalin, James O'Brien, and others. He's beginning to dig now in turn number 3. Here's Reese Bogue side by side with Ted Lowendick. Reese kind of dug up the track a little bit, kept the truck under control, and they're racing and bumping out of turn 4.
Good Lord, we just got this race started, Derrick. And these guys are racing like we're coming to the white flag. Great racing all over, little beating and banging going on as Mark Kalin's going to set the fastest lap of the race so far.
That's good news for him if he wants to take the race lead and sees Doug down the bottom of Bradley Holly. But look on back, it's pretty ugly back there. All the too wide racing, the beating and the banging. There's a pass right there on Colton Lane by that black and purple truck. So there's a Mike Tumer Jr. He's moving up through the field. So lots of action here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, definitely moving up through the field.
Hold on, caution's out again.
Oh my gosh.
Nick Hunter is involved. You see James Morgan back there. Not sure if he's involved or just stopped for the wreck. Nicholas Acosta's back there and some others. We'll wait and see who the videotape shows. Maybe the caution for the second, or I guess the cause for the second caution would be the right way to say that.
And I'll tell you, it's a good thing he has his grinds coffee pouches in because they keep you awake. And he definitely needed to be awake right there after taking that hit for sure.
Yeah, that was a contact there between Nick Hunter and there was a truck up against the wall. I couldn't get a number on right there. The 15 truck, I do believe, of Nick Byer. They made contact. And to be honest with that angle, Evan, I'm not sure who started
That's
it.
what I was wondering. Let's see it again.
Let's watch from this angle here and let's see what's going to happen.
Oh, he hit the wall.
Yep. That's pretty easy to figure out. The second caution out already at New Hampshire, a track where the drivers, when I talked to him earlier, Emmett, were unsure what to expect tonight. Some were very hopeful of some long green flag runs. Some were pretty skeptical and scared of these quick cautions. And right now, the quick cautions is the prevailing answer.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Loudon. They don't call the Magic Mile for nothing. I mean, it's just you never know what to expect here. You could have... I think back to like when this used to be the opening race of the playoffs, back in the Chase era. I mean, we saw, I think it was Kurt Busch, the first race in 2005 got wrecked. And then also we saw that's when Robbie Gordon made the also famous helmet toss at Michael Waltrip as well.
Yep, an era long ago of helmet tosses and
I know, right?
On the track luckily is gone and the era of safety has kicked in here. But right now we're working the caution here again already. Now remember, in this league we do not, well, we count laps. I won't say we don't, but for the purpose of when the race ends, we count minutes. So you see already up on the top of your screen, we're down to about an hour 8 on the clock basically here. So we've rubbed off about 7 minutes of an hour and 15-minute race. Glad you're here along with us on Green Flag TV. Evan Posocco does have the night off, by the way. He's off calling that college iRacing Series race that Matt Gagnon is currently a part of. So Evan went back in a couple weeks here. Be happy to welcome him back into the broadcast booth. Well, Season 3 is upon us here in Premier Sim Racing. Emmett, not too many big rule changes. Pretty much the same racing we've been accustomed to all along. And again, Bradley Holly chooses the bottom.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of these guys got new paint schemes. Of course, you got Mark Kalin not rocking the highlighter yellow and gray, or Steve Loving not rocking the Microsoft paint scheme. So it's good to see these guys are really. And then Dick not driving the Nerds Gummy Cluster truck.
Yeah,
I believe.
no more. Well, it's a different color. I think it's still got the gummy cluster. But yeah, he's went, I think, from blue to red this season. So
I see it now. Okay.
Yep, still got Theodore Jr. on the back of the truck. So lots of cool stuff happening. Well, let's try it again. Third time's a charm, they say. Let's see if that happens here with restarts at New Hampshire. The pace car is going to find its way down to pit road by making that left-hand turn. Bradley Holly and Mark Kaylee and others will move straight down the front straight. In a moment, the green flag comes back out.
Yeah, I tell you, Derrick, Barney has gotten a workout with all these cautions for sure.
He definitely has, but he was also getting a work out of those tires of Ted Lowendick. Because James O'Brien, on the bottom, he is trying to move to the inside here quickly, and he wants to be up in P2. He wants to pass Mark Kaylee. There are 3 wide offset behind him, and I think it's all going to work out into the corner.
Yeah, and I thought there for a second he's going to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and take over this race lead.
Boy, look at this. Just from that camera angle, that's such a cluster right there. Bogue dug it in below Robert Barney, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but luckily it did. Up front, here's Caitlin. Oh, he bumps Bradley Holly. He gets loose. He saves it, and Holly keeps the lead.
Yeah, man, Mark Kaylee was super loose right there. I don't know how he didn't spin that thing out, but look at the 48 of
Thomas Sink.
Running another grind scheme. I've really gotten. I'm sorry, I'm talking about grinds, but I really just got into them, and they really do help if you have nicotine problems or anything, because they're just caffeine. So, really great alternative, and great to see them represented here in the Outlap Truck Series for sure.
Yeah, it is pretty cool to see. The alternative also for Reese Bogue was finally to move it to the top. He realized that trying to dig it under Robert Barney wasn't working, so he's now going to try to pass on the outside of Robert Barney. That black and green number 4 tries to make the pass on the 26. He's getting up there dangerous, Emmett. That kind of darker pavement in the corners is where you want to be. That's where the grip is. And oh my God, behind him there's a car loose. That's Colton Lane, I'm pretty sure. That's the 6. I lied. I'm sorry, that's not Colton Lane. That's Evan Williams. I got my 6 wrong. I apologize now. No caution. Wrecked by himself. Let's watch it again on replay.
He looks like he got turned right there.
He might have smacked the wall. We'll wait and find a different angle and see.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Derrick.
Let's see from a different angle. Watch here the 6 truck.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think
so
it's
again,
crazy.
Wrecks by himself, almost sort of down to that entry that you used to get out of the track for the road course, and no caution. We'll stay green here with about an hour and 4 minutes to go on the race. Pardon me.
That's the thing, though. A lot of people don't realize, Derrick, that there is a road course here at Loudon, and it's very, I've never seen it run, but I do know that there's a road course.
There's indeed a road course. It does get run in iRacing for some of your smaller series. Here's Jeff Evans. He wants to make a run up through the field. He's currently P17, and he's trying right now to pass up Nick Byer, Colton Easterday, and Mike Tumer Jr. are the 3 trucks up ahead. Speaking right here, this is Nick Byer. That's Colton Easterday, and it's sort of, oh my gosh, that was close. That was going to say it was inspired, almost like the Lightning McQueen style look for Colton Easterday. Happy to have him back. And
I was just about to say ka-chow.
He almost ka-chowed that Colton Easterday truck. I'll tell you that. Evans here side by side with Nick Byer out of the corner, and they're going to keep it clean. Meanwhile, we'll move up front. This is a battle of similar looking trucks here. We got to work this out somehow. That's Ted Lowendick to the inside of James O'Brien. At least from the side, they look different.
Yeah, but when I see that gummy cluster, now that I see it, I know that that's Ted Lowendick right there in the 13.
Ted tracks up as much as he could, doesn't want to get to O'Brien. They'll both be moving forward. Reese Bogue sitting in the catbird seat back there. Reese Bogue waiting for someone to bobble, for someone to make a mistake. Lowendick tries again. He's trying to get up there and build all that momentum out of the corner.
My
Here's
gosh.
56, by the way. That car or truck, pardon me, is trying to make a move. He's out to P2. That's Richard Regan Jr.
Yeah, where did Richard Regan Jr. come from? He started way back there, avoided the 2 cautions, and now he finds himself up here battling in P2.
Yeah, Regan started back in P12, is up 10 spots on the evening already. Meanwhile, here is a pass. They're now trying to get around Reese Bogue, who got around them. That's Lowendick. He's going to try first. He wants to make the move, cannot make it stick. Really, here at New Hampshire, it feels like once you have the outside lane on a pass, it's hard for someone to get around you.
Yeah, definitely hard to get around somebody here at New Hampshire. And the thing is, though, these trucks pass a lot better than a car would ever pass here at New Hampshire for sure.
Seen a couple movements for position. There's Colton Easterday and back there with Jeff Evans. There's Mike Tumer Jr. up ahead. We saw him in the parade lap. Now it's Easterday and Tumer side by side to make a bit of contact. All is good, and we'll keep racing down the front straight.
Yeah, great racing going on. So we take a look at Jeff Evans. Trying to get it under Mike Tumer and Colton Easterday. Trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get a good side-by-side battle with Easterday and Tumer for sure.
Yeah, it's a great side-by-side battle, and it's just a great camera shot we're using from Jeff Evans' hood to get out there and see it. Ooh, Tumer bobbles a little bit. That'll allow Evans to get the run. Can Evans make the inside lane work? Yeah, I think so. Up ahead's Jacob Watson in that black and green snapping the Ross Sports machine.
Ooh, blinker.
A little bit of connection. I think we got that settled out there. Evans now pulls in line as they're now single file.
Yeah, as we see Evans try to get under Watson. Ooh, man. Watson washed up the racetrack right there. Oh, big contact.
Yeah, Watson party's never really got that truck gathered back together. I don't think ever since that contact with Jeff Evans. Maybe he finally has it back under his control. He's let not only Jeff Evans by, he also let a couple other trucks by in that process. So Watson finally getting control of that racetrack. Here's Brandon Walter in the 99. He wants to see what impact he can make this evening.
Yeah, and Derrick, I want to ask you, since, if you win, oh my gosh, if you win this race, you get to hold up a lobster. And my question for you, have you ever held up a lobster before?
Nope. I've eaten the lobster. I'll eat it. I'm not holding it. I'm the Denny Hamlin of sim racing. I don't want anything to do with that, with holding that lobster. I'm good at things.
Now, see, I've held its little cousin, the crawfish, and I've ate tons of crawfish, but I've never held up a lobster, no.
I'm good at things. I'll eat it. Yeah. Oh boy! As this run is going on, oh my gosh! There's Nick Sakasa way to the bottom of the track. He's going to get that truck gathered back up, and I was going to 3 wide. That's Jeff Evans. That's Colton Easterday. That's one of the Williams up on the top. So I believe to be Evan Williams up there. That's Zach Williams, pardon me, up there. I'll say this: it does feel like as we're now about 17 minutes into the run, we're a good number of laps in. These trucks are beginning to loosen up.
Yeah, they're definitely loosening up, but I'm surprised we don't see Evan Williams at an Evan Williams style paint scheme. With the Ford Loco, you'd think you'd see Evan Williams in an Evan Williams whiskey themed car, but great looking truck as we see Zach Williams.
This is the battle for P2, by the way. This is P3, sorry. This is Reese Bogue and Mark Kalen Bogue slowly working his way through the field. Bogue's having a pretty solid run here down the track, side by side in the corner they're going to go. This is turns 3 and 4. And Bogue, again, this is that problem we talked about, where you can have a good run, Emmett, but when you're the driver on the outside, you can do a really darn good job at blocking the pass.
Yeah, you definitely could do some great defensive driving here, and you know what they say, defense wins championships. Well, in this case, defense gets you wins, but great defensive driving right here from Reese Bogue as he's able to get around Mark Kalen for the 3rd position.
Let's see what Kaylee can do. Kaylee digs it in. He gets up an accelerator through the corner, but it's the same thing we talked about all night long. Just has a hard time here completing the pass, and Reese Bogue will stick ahead for the moment for P3. We'll look on back from Reese Bogue and watch Mark. I mean, Bogue's really starting to flirt with the top of that track a little bit. I'm surprised how well it's working, honestly, Emmett. Typically, when you get up above that darker pavement in the corner, there's not much grip up there.
Yeah, there's not much grip really up there, but as we take a look at Reese Bogue right there, doing a great job. I mean, the way he's diving in the corner, Derek, he's really cutting off the momentum of Mark Kaylee and keeping him at bay and forward.
Meanwhile, back here through the field, that's Brandon Walter and Kyle Dewey. They're right ahead of Jeff Evans. That's the battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th on your screen right there. Jeff Evans thought about maybe kind of splitting the goalpost there, but thought the best of it. He'll back it up and let these two fight.
Yeah, look at that right there. As we see the battle for 10th between the 99 of Brandon Walter and Kyle Dewey, and yes, Jeff Evans as well.
I think it's worth noting here that Jeff Evans is in a spot where he obviously, I would assume, did not take tires, but has a little bit more gas than the rest of the field. And remember, he came down under the lap 9 caution, and he got some damage fixed to be involved or near one of those wrecks. So if this stays green, I'm not sure if he's the tire advantage, Emmett, but he'll have a few more laps in the tank than the rest of the field.
Yeah, definitely have a few more laps, and that's really what it comes down to. It's all about fuel strategy usually here at New Hampshire. We've seen so many fuel strategy races as now Jeff Evans is going to take that 10th position away from Brandon Walter, Derek.
That was a close moment right there between both trucks, but everything's worked out. We're good down the back straight. Back further through the field, there's Williams with the 17 to the inside. 17 makes the pass, and we're good there as well. That's Daniel Knight back for season 3 in the 17. Happy to see Daniel back in the field. And he makes the pass and clears it on back through the field. Well, now we are about 55 minutes to go on the clock. So about 20 minutes of racing in. 20 minutes of racing. Yeah, that's right. 20 minutes of racing. I had to do the mental math to make sure I was on kilter there. But back towards the front, here's Mark Kalen. There's Ted Lowendick up ahead of them. We're seeing some lap traffic involved, I do believe, in this battle as well. So we're getting to that point now, Emmett, where we've run enough green flag laps that lap traffic is getting in the way.
Yeah, it's definitely getting in the way for these leaders, and as we see that right here. But, I mean, Bradley Hawley is doing a great job on Richard Regan. Of course, Richard Regan, you know, he's the 2-time champion, isn't he?
No, Bradley Hawley won season 2, so Richard has just the one. Yep. Rich was really in contention, had some PC issues at the end of season 2, knocked him out of the last 2 races. But you have to think, had those technical gremlins not popped up, that maybe happened. Speaking of technical gremlins, Daniel Knight looked slow for a second. I want to follow this and make sure he's okay. I think he is, but yeah, he's back at the speed here.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember who that was there? That it might have been Richard. No, it wasn't Richard Regan because he was sick. Daniel Knight and somebody got together, and the post-race interview was interesting because that was my first race in this series doing with you.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those that were kind of interesting, but what's interesting right now is Jacob Watson making the pass here. That's on Zach Williams. Got Nicholas Acosta back there, Zachary Burns back there, Mike Tumer Jr. is back there in P20. This is legit 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 on your screen. And Watson with the clean air, I'm curious if now he pulls away.
Yeah, I'd be curious for sure. But Zach Williams trying to get up there is, oh man, contact. Zach Colton. What's his name? That's right.
Zachary Burns is back there. Nicholas Acosta's in the top there. Nick, hold on. Come back to that story. There's a truck loose to the inside. That was Zachary Burns that was loose to the inside. and he got that truck saved. Nicholas Acosta missed our race at Darlington, so he decided to run his college colors tonight for Lee University. So that brown and yellow is a different color of what he typically runs for Tabitha Rossi Esports. So he decided to say, you know what? We had the truck painted. I'm going to use it, darn it. And use it he is here this evening for this race. He's back there running in P19. Got a tight battle right now with Daniel Knight behind him. And they're having a good fight here.
I was thinking that truck looked like a Yahoo or something. I mean, not a Yahoo, a Woohoo. Not a Yahoo. But,
what's two very different things, believe it or not.
Yeah, definitely.
The Lee University, I believe is what it's called, a smaller school. Yep. So representing his colors there, as did all the Tabitha Rossi Esports drivers represented their college during the Darlington Throwback Week, and we're excited to see that here from all of the drivers. Happy along with us here on Green Flag TV, watching Bradley Holly. He's not really pulled away from the field. He's only about 0.3 of a second to the good on Richard Regan, but then they're 1 second ahead of Reese Boak.
Yeah, doing a great job right there. Especially when you see Richard Regan in your rear view, it makes you drive even harder. And seeing these two past champions battling for this lead, this is some true remarkable stuff that you can only see in the premier sim racing Outlap Motorsports truck series for sure.
Yeah, some great racing happening here every week for the next 10 weeks here on Green Flag TV. Happy along with us here, and Brad's is really just trying to, I guess, begin season 3 where he ended season 2. Just with one winning and dominating is his goal. Well, let's see what we've got looked up tonight on the driver cameras. Let's go ahead and take a look through who made their views available. I bet we start with Bradley Holly because he always has an amazing webcam view, usually a multi-view for us. So we'll wait and see when that gets up. There's oh nope, all right, that is not Bradley Holly. That is Mark Kalin, who's back in the field a little bit. Mark is currently running back in P4. There's Bradley Holly.
Brad.
Got the room colored up like the truck, like normal.
He's got the helmet.
Let's now move. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. Let's come back to Mark Kalin first. So he's in a battle right now, side by side. That's James O'Brien, who wants around. That's Ted Lowendick behind him. Mark is surrounded by red trucks.
Yeah, Mark, different look to the usual ink car we see. Don't get to see the posters of his 2 wins, so that stinks, but good looking view right there, and you can see those eyes. He's just determined to get around these 2 trucks for sure.
Yeah, pretty stoic look, and seems pretty calm. Both those trucks, O'Brien and Lowendick, did get around for the moment. So Mark will move down to P7 on the leaderboard and come through the corners. And here is a different look. This is Nicholas Hunter. And that is a low seat. That is his steering wheel might be above his head.
That's what I was wondering.
This is Zach. I said Nick Hunter. This is Nick Hunter. It is Nick Hunter. Yeah, that is a wow. Everyone has a different preference. Everyone has a different preference on how you drive, and some like to sit far back, some like to sit close forward. I don't think I could drive like that. There's Ted Lowendick, by the way. Teddy is one of our fellow Green Flag TV commentators and has done an amazing job on the track and in the booth recently. So Teddy, you see there, has got the WeatherTech bumper in the background for one of the IMSA cars he has as a piece of memorabilia. But Teddy's doing pretty strong here. I think it's from a sports car. We'll see if we can ask Teddy later what it's from. But
I bet
Ted
you it's
currently running
GG.
P5. I think he's had it longer than that. We'll find out later. We'll find out. We'll get a word with Ted. See what we can do. But I think he's had it longer than that. But you might be right. I'm not sure. And then last up in our webcam view is Bradley Holly's helmet cam. This is what Brad sees. Now, it's a little maybe bright through the webcam contrast, Emmett, but this is the view Brad has at his screen.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know how you can see through that. But yeah, great look, and always great to see Brad showing the helmet cam. Just gives our viewers and race fans a view of what's going on in the car.
All right, producer Dustin Ollis trying to play with the contrast, see if he can fix the view there. That's why it was getting darker and brighter, but nothing really seems to help. I promise you, in Brad's view, it doesn't look quite that way. Just maybe the contrast of that webcam is kind of playing tricks on us there in the feed. I want to thank all the drivers who did go ahead and provide a view this evening. We encourage everyone to hop into the Zoom call and make those moments happen. But on track right now, Colton Easterday in that number 95 truck is trying to make a pass. He wants to get up to P12. To do that, he'll have to get around Kyle Dewey.
Yeah, and he's trying to get to the bottom, just trying to make it where he can get there and then get around Dewey. But Dewey's doing a great job holding him at bay, doing some great defensive driving, and Easterday can't get up to his corner panel to get enough side draft to get around him for sure.
No, not yet. Now, what I'm curious about, watch this corner here, Emmett. I'm curious to see if people are shifting. Listen in for a second.
Nope, he's just rolling it.
Kind of surprised. I bet if we go up to the front of the field, I bet if we head up to maybe a Bradley Holly, a Richard Regan, a Reese Bogue, someone in your top 5, I bet the answer is different. Let's find out in a moment. But here's Thomas Sink. Let's see if we can get a view of him. And I think that downshifting will play a big part in how you run this track.
Yeah, he's definitely downshifting.
So what are the positives and negatives of shifting in the corners?
So the positives is, you don't lose that much time when you let it roll, and you still get to keep that acceleration. But the negatives are, in case you get close to it, you can slip up and, miss a shift or even downshift, and, you could end your day for sure. Oh, hard in the wall goes Dewey.
Yeah, the other downside, by the way, is it does get a little loose when you're shifting out of the corner, and you see those trucks wiggle a little bit. By the way, on pit road, you see there Daniel Knight and Evan Williams, both of those very long pit stops, so not routine stops for either driver. Not sure what happened there. See if maybe we can find if there was any footage of contact between the two, but there's contact right now between Easterday and Kyle Dewey. Whoa, there is. I think that's that Daniel Knight in 17. So now we know why he's on pit road.
Yeah. Evan Williams has been on pit road for a long time.
Oh boy, speaking of signs that were handling problems, watch that black and green truck behind this camera shot. He rode the apron through 3 and 4. Does he do it again at 1 and 2? I'm curious how low he gets. He is.
Wow.
That tells me that truck is not handling the way he wants it to.
Yeah, definitely. That's taking a big gamble there, because usually that apron is slicker than a cat on a hot tin roof. But look at this right here. He's able to get the corner, and maybe the flatness of the apron is really helping him turn through the corner, Derrick.
Yeah, probably losing, I would say a lot of the speed is what he's losing, however, I would think, right? You can't go on the gas as much. So there's positives. Again, positives and negatives to the decision you make here on the track. This is Mark Kalin, by the way. Now Robert Barney has gotten around. Mark Kalin slowly through this race has lost a few spots. He's down 5 on the day, to be exact. So Mark is kind of slowly getting down the field.
Yeah, look right here. So we see Barney going to go to the inside of the 71 of the lap truck. Hunter. I got excited. I thought we were going to see a pass.
Yeah, I was hoping so as well. Well, right now, Mark Kalin's right behind Robert Barney. They're trying to catch some traffic. There's Richard Regan and James O'Brien. These guys are teammates over at RBM, Regan Bogue Motorsports, and they're racing pretty hard. And I promise you that both of them trust each other enough to race that way and know nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, definitely. And we think of Richard Regan Jr. and James O'Brien. What I remember when I used to do these races with you, Derrick, is James O'Brien was there every time. something would go wrong, or he'd miss his spot or miss his mark or something, and end up losing a race. But yeah, James O'Brien has always shown speed, is what I remember, and great to see him working with Richard Regan at Regan Motorsports as well.
Yeah, it's a great run by both these drivers here this evening. You see the gap on the screen from Holly back to Regan, first to third, almost 2.5 seconds here at this moment in the race. About 42 minutes left on the clock here. What we're going to do is we're going to step back. And you ever wonder what it feels like to be inside the race car trying to run down P2? You ever wonder what it's like to be Richard Regan Jr.? Well, let's find out. We're going to sit back, we're going to crank up the microphones, and you're going to feel the noise. Welcome back here in live on Green Flag TV as we sit here in the round 3 opener at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Outlap Motorsports Truck Series. Welcome back here into the Kaylee's Sweet Creation 125. Not much change. You saw Richard Regan, and I have to think probably, boy, I mean, felt like he had a hard time keeping up with James O'Brien during that run. Wonder if maybe he's burned up his equipment getting up to top 3 in the field. Meanwhile, on back, there's Colton Easterday again with Kyle Dewey. We've seen these guys racing around each other most night. This is the battle for 13th and 14th. Well, the race ticks on. We thought from the info we got from our drivers tonight, 65 to 70 laps is what a fuel run would be. Mm-hmm. So as we now kick into about the less than 39 minutes to go, Emmett, we are currently working on lap 64, so we're not too far from green flag pit stops.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially with these leaders trying to get, down to pit road with all this lap traffic, Derrick.
Yeah, getting down there can be a problem, right? If that lap traffic's in the way when it's your time to get on the pit road, it can feel like a blockage. My counter to that, though, is it's not a secret you need to be on pit road. You just have to kind of plan ahead and make it happen.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go. There's a first taker, Zach Williams, back on pit road. I'm not sure if that's going to be part of our pit cycle or if that's just getting some different damage fixed. We'll keep an eye on that. Remember, a few drivers will be able to go longer than others. They pitted under one of our cautions. So Jeff Evans, Dustin Bumgarner, Nick Byer, Zachary Burnt, Steve Loving, and more will go a little bit longer than the rest of the field. Oh, there's a car up on the wall, or truck up on the wall. So that was Evan Williams, so now we know why he pitted.
That's why he was on pit road for so long too, which cost him some spots for sure.
Stacy Hunter down pit road, so we'll see if this begins our round of scheduled stops here. We'll work lap number 66. This is definitely 66 is definitely in that window of information we received today. So depending upon how well you're saving tires and gas, you're probably excited to get down pit road.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Well, Nicholas Acosta's a driver now we're on board with here, running back in P23. And see him up here. And running through. Bad news, by the way, Ted Lowendick has been parked. Some connection problems for Ted Lowendick inside his own internet. And race control has moved him to pit road. So he is no longer a danger to himself or others on the track. The bad news for Teddy, though, he's on pit road until that connection cleans up.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Ted Lowendick. Had a great run going, and hate to see that for Teddy. Hopefully he can get out here and not lose that many laps.
Here's Bradley Holly passing yet another truck, putting another truck a lap down. That was Mike Tumer Jr. he just passed. That's for P15. So only right now, only 14 trucks left in the lead lap as we begin our pit cycles here. And we've had some caution laps, Emmett, so I would say probably, what you think, 75 is the longest we could push this run?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, we're going to see how long these boys push it, but I'm thinking, yeah, 75 laps for sure, Derek. That's as long as you can run for sure.
Our Bradley Holly are beginning to work now lap number 70, so getting closer and closer to that moment of making things happen. See, Brad's now led every lap this evening. There's Steve Loving down pit road, so the pit window is definitely open.
Kalen's going to be the fastest lap of the race, Derek.
Yeah, does look that way. Mark Cannon's already on fresh tires. He already came down pit road, so he is already pitted under the cycle. And right now, with the way the time runs, remember we started at 1 hour and 15, so we're pretty far into this race. This should be a one-stop race if it stays green.
See Barney coming in, Robert Barney.
Bradley Holly digs to the inside of that corner. No indication of slowing down here, so he makes the pass there on yet another car and goes on around the track. He'll now begin lap 72 and be ready to see who else he can lap here at New Hampshire.
I was about to say, Derek, I think he's trying to see what Richard Regan and Reese Bogue are going to do, and whatever, if they come in early and if he can stay out a couple laps, you know, put him a lap down, and that way when he cycles out, you know, they'll still be back like 10, 5 seconds away. So I think that's what he's trying to do by staying out this long.
Yeah, maybe so. Or just maybe kind of waiting for the caution and trying to, make that happen, but doing a pretty solid run. Here's Richard Regan Jr. Richard is now down pit road himself, so he'll take that pit stop here with about 34 minutes to go.
So this is going to be interesting right here. If Holly stays out a couple laps,
You have to think not much longer for Bradley. Holly does not pit that time. He's now working in lap 74. So we're definitely getting towards the edge of that pit window. But of course, every lap you run now, especially while you're in clean air, is a benefit to you. Here's more trucks down pit road. James O'Brien, Mike Tumer, Jeff Evans up in the very bottom of that camera shot has already pitted. More and more trucks coming down pit road. James O'Brien, black flag, likely I'm going to guess for speeding. That is detrimental.
Yeah, and here comes your leader. Oh, man, had to lock it up big time right there. Didn't lock up the brakes, though. Just got her slowed down right on the money. I was going to say, though, Derek, I mean, if it comes down to it, with Holly having that big of a lead when he was out there, he could have pushed the clutch in on the corners and just rolled it out that way as well to save fuel.
Yeah, could have as well. So we'll wait and see. Here's a car and Jacob Dunn. This will be the first driver to lead a lap if he comes on around. That will not be named Bradley Holly this evening. So let's see if he comes around or if he pits right here. I think he's going to pit right here, so he may not lead that lap. We'll wait and see what timing and scoring says.
I don't
Jacob
think
Watson would be next in line. Watson may assume the lead here. Let's take a look at the line. Yeah, Watson got the lead lap, I believe.
Wow.
All right, Emmett, so let's do this. So now we see the pit cycle is beginning. I think everyone minus Jacob Watson has now come down pit road at some point. Maybe some offsetting laps here or there. But let's walk through a lap or two. Walk me through the advantages, where you think people are. Just talk me through what's in your mind right now as we get to the 31-minute mark.
So as the cycle's going through, Bradley Holly played this strategy perfect, folks, because, oh, we got a caution. Nope, no caution. We say green.
No caution. No, it's going to stay green.
Wow,
it's going to stay green. That is a messed up truck. So you kind of lifted off the ground. That's Dustin Bumgarner with that black truck there. And it looks hurt. Oh, is it going to turn? Yeah, it was a lot. I got concerned. Now, what's it going to turn? Let's watch the replay here. Here's Williams. He loops it around, gets it up the track. Bumgarner just runs into it.
Yeah, so tough break for Bumgarner. Just nowhere to go.
Okay, so let's go back. So you were talking about the advantages. Well, let's watch this one more time here. This is what Bumgarner saw. I think he thought and the car was in the way, and I think maybe he thought Williams was going to stick up the track. Oh, there's your caution, however. You called it about 2 laps early. Caution is finally out of New Hampshire. Nicholas Acosta has, well, you see the tread marks right there on the track. The question is that self-inflicted, or was there some help?
I don't know.
I think it's easy to see the path he took. That's not a normal path for a truck to take. So let's watch this right here. Ted Lowedick's in the back.
Oh.
That's called help.
Oh, yeah, that's called. He definitely had some help. He couldn't do it by himself.
Well, this is going to be interesting because Jacob Watson's in the lead. Now, what's in my mind is for the first couple pace laps here, Emmett, pit road's closed. Does he have enough gas to get around? Is pit road open this time? I can't tell. And we'll see. Yep, pit road was open, so Jacob Watson led some laps. He'll now come down pit road. All right, Emmett. Well, we saw a couple moments there of excitement. What's on your mind here? What do you think is the winning strategy for Bradley Holly and others?
So, I think Holly just played it perfectly. Derrick, definitely with the strategy thing out so far. You know, as long as he did, and that's what I was saying. I was thinking he was going to see what Regan and Bogue were doing, and that's exactly what he did to get that advantage in the cycle and was able to get in front of Kaylee. But Kaylee, you know, he's right there with him, but he's got the actually, Kaylee's going to go down to 10th, but I mean, Reese Bogue, Robert Barney, Richard Regan, Thomas Sink, Jeff Evans, Jacob Dunn, great strategy calls to get that track position to move up. It's going to be exciting for sure, folks. And, you know, this is going to be a great race. We're looking at this track. This is they call it the Magic Mile for a reason. We don't know what's going to happen as we get down to the nitty gritty with 28 minutes remaining. This is going to be exciting, so you don't want to go anywhere right here on Green Flag TV. And that's exactly what we're thinking. Now, as we take a look right here, it was a good strategy call by Jacob Watson to keep him out there, lead some laps. The only other truck to lead laps that wasn't named Bradley Holly, and now we're going to see Reese Bogue in the lead. So this is going to be interesting right here, folks, as we see Bogue in the lead for the first time today. Is he going to be able to get out front of Holly and get into that clean air that we saw so much of? Holly just dominated with the clean air. Now we get to see how the outside line's going to affect. And look at you right there. you got your teammate behind you. So look for Regan to give Bogue a push and give Bogue the advantage. Bogue is the control car, and Holly's got to remember that. Oh, no. Oh, never mind. They switched. Never mind. They switched. I thought.
Hold on. Caution's out again, so that didn't take long to have your next caution
Wow.
on the track here. And there's your reason. Mixed her off, back to the field, spun it around.
I was. Oh, man. That was something, let me tell you.
Well, you had a good story there. I thought you were right on the money when you talked about, would Richard Regan push his teammate on around. But back to the field here, Nick Saroff. You're going to loop it on his own.
Oh, man.
Oh! Hard hit.
Yeah, hard hit. Golly. Just didn't get enough heat in those tires and just spun her out right there.
Well, here we are under caution yet again. About 26 minutes left in this race. You talked a lot about winning strategies and what it would take to win. But if you're Brad Holly, I know you don't like all these cautions, but you have to think that these cautions right here are helping you in your path to victory.
Yeah, you would think that they're helping you. I mean, with this being a timed event, this is really helping because it doesn't matter about laps, Derrick. It's just about time. So, I mean, the more caution laps you run, the quicker the time goes, and the quicker you get to remain the leader because the field's frozen during caution, so you can't pass under caution. So it's a great strategy to keep out front during these cautions for sure.
Well, let's do this. You want to find out what a winning strategy is? We're going to do that. Let's welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth, Reese Bogue. Reese, you're up, I guess, 3 spots this evening. You're up to P2. What's the strategy for getting around Bradley Holly?
Man, I really just got to get a good restart, which is going to be hard to do with the restart zone here. And hopefully we can at least come off 2, maybe side by side. I feel like if I could stay side by side with him through 1 and 2, I can have a shot at him. So it's going to be tough, but we'll see how it goes. Really didn't do a lot of side by side racing the night before, so as far as this track, what's the update and all that. So we'll see. But tires are definitely a crucial factor here tonight, and we've seen that in the first run. So we'll see what the second run brings.
Do you think it was going to be easier to get around Brad when you had Rich behind you, maybe giving a little bit of bump here and there, or does that not make a difference?
Really, Rich behind me puts the pressure on, honestly. I know he's not going to do anything crazy that would wipe us out, but we did have a little contact getting off pit road, so I don't believe he's too happy with me right now, but it is what it is. We both live, and we're going to go race for this finish right here.
Fair enough. Well, you're 1 to green. I'll put you back down with your teammates. Good luck, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
And Emmett, think about that. They had contact off at pit road. Even team owners can have disagreements.
Yeah, you definitely can, and it just goes to show right there, Derrick. I mean, it's not all rainbows and sunshine when you're at your race team for sure.
Well, the pace cars are going to pull down. It's Holly, it's Bogue, it's Regan, and more. Robert Barney is back there. Let's go Green Flag Racing here at New Hampshire.
Man.
Well, the side-by-side right there for P2. Go ahead.
I was going to say, here's some interesting strategy. So, Richard Regan could act as a pick to get Holly. That's exactly what I was saying. So, Holly went up high to block Bogue, but it left open the bottom for Regan and gave Regan the advantage and now basically almost the lead.
Well, that's your third leader of the night. That's Richard Regan leading a lap. He got around Bradley Holly. He dug it way into that corner harder than I thought he could. Got the pass made of Bradley Holly. Now Richard is up in the leader position. So now it's Regan Bogue, Whataback, Regan Bogue, and cautions out yet again at New Hampshire. Wait and see what caused this one to happen. The question I have is, where was Bogue and Holly at the moment of caution? I think they're going to give it to Holly. Yep, because Bogue is backing off. So that was going to be close. Well, let's come back. Remember how Reese Bogue said there was contact off a pit lane? Well, here's that contact off a pit lane. You know what? If I was Richard Regan, I'd be upset. That's That's obnoxious, to be honest with you. It just, boy, I
I'd
can't
be like,
imagine that.
I'd be like, boy, that's not why I signed you to hit me.
I think our caution is going to involve Jacob Watson. I'm not sure yet. We'll wait and see what the replay machine loads and see if my prediction is correct here.
But here's the thing, Derrick. Okay, so that move, it looked like Regan was able to, just power through. But what Bogue did, let's take a look right here.
That was called Easter Day back there. And more involved in that wreck, and that was towards the back of the field. Sorry, continue your thought.
I was going to say, what Reese Bogue did, he put Holly to block him on the high side, which allowed Regan just to scoot by on the inside. Great teamwork right there. Oh, man.
Well, you saw the wreck there, then you saw some of the names on the side of your screen. Those are the trucks that need to pit after that contact, so likely those two things possibly related.
It's a good thing he's got a Hans device for sure.
Well, here it is. So Richard Regan Jr., for the first time, he'll be the leader on the restart with about 20 minutes to go once we go green flag racing. He'll have Holly, he'll have Bogue, he'll have Sink, Barney, Jeff Evans, all trying to run him down. So it's not a surprise. Richard Regan loves short track racing. He's done it in real life. It always seems to prevail here at these style of tracks. So I guess you could say, that old phrase, second verse, same as the first. Well, in this case, it's third verse, same as the second, because we have a good old Richard Regan, Bradley Holly battle.
Yeah, like I said, the two past champions.
Whoa. Look at your screen. Leader, high side.
Wow. That's interesting because his teammate chose the inside line.
Well, teammate, only leaders, only in PSR, only leaders get to pick. So yeah, I knew you did the race last night for the Mid Atlantic Racing Series where everyone got a choose cone, and now your head's still there. But no, in this league, only the leader picks. So I'm still surprised though for everyone else tonight who's picked the bottom. Richard Regan chooses the top.
Yeah, and that choose cone did get destroyed. One good time.
Yep, you just missed that last on Green Flag TV. It's available on the YouTube channel in the videos section. You can check that out. But here's Richard Regan. He's going to control the restart on Bradley Holly. And we're going to come around here and wait for the green flag. We're waiting for Richard Regan to go. And we're back to green flag racing. And Holly missed a gear.
Yeah, Holly definitely missed a gear. That's going to check up the bottom line. That's going to allow Richard Regan just to scoot away from the field. But look at how fast Holly gets back. But look at this Reese Bogue on the inside.
Bogue tried to make it work. Could not quite make that move stick. So still Holly P2. Bogue is P3. Sink and Barney round out your top five. And on back. It's getting to be tight racing. There's Jacob Dunn in the three. He's got James Morgan, his teammate. They're both behind Mark Kalin. They're side by side. They want to be involved in the top 10.
Yeah, definitely want to be involved in the top 10 as we see Kalin trying to get around. But right now up front, Derrick, here comes Reese Bogue. He's hunting for a place to get up here to battle Mr. Bradley Holly for a second.
Doing a great job trying. There's Jeff Evans, by the way. He's now under attack from Team Tabula Rasa Esports because he got now the 12 and the 3. That's Morgan and Dunn. Sounds like a law firm to say like that. There's a Morgan and Dunn, but
I know, right?
In this case, they're sim racers. So having a good time. By the way, that orange banner at the top right of your ticker board, that means Richard Regan just laid down the fastest lap of the night, a 38.323, and he looks to claim the bonus for fastest lap.
Yeah, just for the moment, because I think the lap times are really going to pick up as the action is picking up. These trucks get into that draft and we could see some fast times. But yeah, right now, Richard Regan has set sail. I mean, look at the lead. It's just growing rapidly. Now it's shrinking rapidly. So forget what I said, but I mean, it's at 0.5 of a second.
Well, speaking of rapidly, tonight only have a roster of Miracle Flow drivers. So let's do a rapid Team Miracle Flow team update here at this point in the race. Right now, here's Bradley Holly's led most of this race, now battling back in P2 wants his lead back. That purple truck, I think he has something left when we get to the end here for Richard Regan Jr. Moving back to the field is Jeff Evans. Jeff currently running back in P10. He's under a battle right now with Kyle Dewey, with Ted Lowendick, and more. You see that big battle. Brandon Walters up there and more. Jeff in that 51 truck would love to have a good finish here and is now battling on the outside here at New Hampshire. You know, Emmett, at Miracle Flow, they're about more than hair care. To them, they build for the bold. They're founded in Rochester, New York back in 2015. Miracle Flow was created to elevate both your look and your lifestyle. Made in the USA and crafted for real performance. It's trusted by those who show up ready, whether it's a game time or a night out with the boys. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, just results. Miracle Flow, because your flow isn't just style, it's a statement. Well, the statement right now being made by Jeff Evans is strong as he's in this battle right now with Brandon Walter, Kyle Dewey. He's got Ted Lowendick up there. He's got cars behind, trucks behind Mike Jacob Watson and Mike Tumer. So this is a great battle happening here in mid-pack, and maybe they're not side by side, Emmett, but they are definitely putting on a fight. Oh, hold on, in the back. That is Zachary Burnt on around, no caution yet. He's down there by himself, and there it is. Caution is out with less than 20 minutes to go. Burnt's going to watch it spinning around here, just like that.
Yep, just spun around. All right, Derrick, so I got to be honest. I thought you said the Battle of the Bulge instead of the Bold.
I definitely did not say that, but fair enough.
I was thinking that one.
And I think I said built for the bold, but yeah, regardless.
Built for the Bulge, yeah.
I did not say that. We're under caution once again here at New Hampshire. Richard Regan Lee and Brad Holly is back there in P2. Reese Bogue in 3. Thomas Sink and Mark Kalin round out your top 5. All right, Emmett, so here's the question. It's been a few laps since anyone came down to pit road and put tires and gas on. We're going to have, well, I'd say about 15, 14 minutes of racing when we go green. Does anyone...
Oh.
Nope, never mind. Brad Holly answered my question. Brad Holly, Thomas Sink, and more. Almost everyone came down the pit road.
Yep. Coming in to get some tires.
So do you think it's 2 tires? Do you think it's 4 tires? What are you expecting here?
You know, to gamble, I do too. But, I mean, if you're coming down, I just do 4.
Well, let's watch the trucks here. Bradley Holly's up front. Right side's up. Right side's down. Left side's up.
Yep, 4.
Oh, look at that. Couple, though, made the move. You saw a couple trucks pulling out early. So we're going to have to guess there's a couple takers at 2 tires here. We'll get some names on that in a second. But there's Bradley Holly off the pit road.
I think it's what it is, Derrick, is you're so hard on the brakes here into the corners because, I mean, these are some hard braking corners, probably the hardest that we ever see in NASCAR other than road courses. But, I mean, so that's why I could think you'd take 4 to get that extra, you know, that extra grip for sure when you're getting on those brakes. And they get heated up, you know, and that's what eats up the rubber. So I think it's a good call for Bradley Holly, taking 4 for sure.
Well, it's time to take a moment here and reset the field and see where we stand. A bunch of different strategies on the board here. So your top, I believe your top 6. That's Richard Regan, Reese Bogue, James Morgan, Jacob Dunn, Brandon Walter, Mike Tumer. Did not pit. I think we can add Mark Kalin to that list, possibly. Nope, Mark Kalin did pit. Mark Kalin is a 2-tire stop, sorry. Mike Tumer Jr., 2-tire stop. Bradley Holly on back. P8 back, as far as I can tell, 4-tire stop. So we have 3 different race strategies going to happen here in the last 15 minutes. I hope for the best, Emmett, but history tells me when you have no tires, 2 tires, and 4 tires all battling, this could get ugly.
Yes, it could, but what a moment it would be for Mike Tumer to put that 42 machine in victory lane would be so special to him and his family for sure.
Well, right now, we'll see what that can happen because Richard Regan just took the green flag. He'll have his team co-owner Reese Bogue right behind. Now, these guys had a bit of a scuffle earlier, Yeah, I think they put that behind them. But right now in the middle is Bradley Holly getting around Mike Tumer, who's on the outside. Oh, he wiggled Thomas Sink. My God. Thomas Sink saved that truck and cautions out yet again. Not sure what that's going to be for. Possibly another self-spin. And it looks like Zachary Burnt required repair. So I'm going to guess if I put 2 and 2 together, that may be the cause of said caution. So watch it again here. Zachary Burnt, second verse, same as the first. Zachary Burnt inside wall. He's going to have tows that truck over to pit road, and he'll likely call it a night there for Zachary Burnt. So, well, the moment like this right here, Emmett, this helps, I would say, your no tire calls. There's less time on the clock. By the way, speaking about the tire calls, look at this. It's currently about 1:25 p.m. virtual sim time. A 97-degree Fahrenheit track, so a fairly cool track, all things considered. But if you're Regan, if you're Bogue, Morgan, Dunn, or the others who didn't pit, this is good news because it's less laps for those new tires to catch you.
Yeah, definitely. And the more we run under caution, the more time gets eat up. I mean, we're not even coming to green yet, and there's going to be less than almost 10 minutes left in this race.
Yeah, that'll be the question. And remember, we get to the point here where we're going to come to that point of no return not too far from now. Only maybe 1 or 2 more yellows, and this thing would end. So earlier we talked to Reese Bogue, and he talked about having that moment with his teammates and how it was close, and he kind of hoped everything was going to calm down. Seems to so far. So let's do this. Let's talk to the driver back in P4. Let's talk to the first driver out right now. So off the podium, that is. Let's talk to Jacob Dunn. We're going to welcome him to the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Jacob, no tires was the call under the last yellow, and the quick yellow comes out again. Are you still confident in that decision?
The closer those trucks that pitted are getting in my mirror, I'm a little less confident, but we're just going to send it here. We're so late in the race. I was like debating if pitting would be a good strategy, but if we keep getting some quick yellows, I think we're going to be on the right call.
So it feels like maybe a tale of two stories down with the Tabitha Rossi Esports team tonight. Yourself and Morgan up front, Acosta and Watson maybe towards the back. What's been the mood down there tonight?
Well, we've been teasing Acosta back there being the odd man out a lap down, but luckily he got that lucky dog there on that yellow, and so now he's back with us on the lead lap. Hopefully they can get up here with us, and we can get all 4 trucks a good finish.
All right, buddy. Well, I know you're 1 to go. I'll put you back down with the team. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that is Jacob Dunn, the Alabama native, and he is sitting right there in the catbird seat and right there behind the RBM co-owners. So right now it's team by team. It's RBM up front. It's Tabitha Rossi Esports in the middle. And then I believe it to be it's an RBM and a Whataback back in row 3. So you'll see some mixtures happen there. The pace car comes down. Regan does choose the inside this time. We'll wait for him to step on the gas pedal. He does. And we're back to Green Flag Racing with just about 10 minutes to go. No, they are wrecking. Jeff Evans involved. And maybe Colton Easterday was down there. Steve Loving, I believe, involved possibly.
And that's what gave Loving the black flag, I think.
Watch in the back of your screen. Jeff Evans, that magenta-colored car in the bottom of your screen. There's a... Oh, it starts up top. Someone shutting Jacob Dunn. Mark Kalem was. And then just sort of accordion backwards, I think.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Watch it again. Oh, Jacob Dunn has said he just missed second gear, guys. So Jacob Dunn missed second gear, checked up the field, and on around it went. Well, Emmett, I would likely say this is probably our last caution where we can go green again, I would think. This is going to eat some time off the clock. There's about 7.5 minutes to go here. So Richard Regan, Mark Kalin, Reese Bogue, and more. Yeah, you can hear it right there. You heard it. He's never gotten second gear.
Oh, yeah, you hear it redlining big time. What a back.
Well, you'd have to argue that the biggest loser in that ordeal was Jeff Evans.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you, Derrick, seeing that Whataback logo makes me wonder, do y'all have Whataburger up there?
Nope, never had one.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. I had one just a little bit ago. Just an hour ago, actually.
Nice. Yeah, I've never had one. Never had Whataburger, never had In-N-Out.
Oh, man.
Watch this one more time. You see Jacob Dunn just missed the gear, and it checked up. Mark Kaylen, Mike Tumer, and it just got really bad from there.
So what's the big thing up there, like fast food wise?
I don't know. We have. I mean, I should say we have. We've had about 10 years. I'm from Chick-fil-A up here. We have Five Guys. I don't know if we've had any quote unquote big fast food up here. It's just fast food. We're right on the coast. Fast food's not our thing. We can go get food out of the ocean. Fresh seafood is a thing up here, I guess, is the right way to say it, up here in the Pacific Northwest. But, yeah. Well, now, again, these teammates are side by side. Bogue and Regan. With Regan inside, Bogue outside. James Morgan now is without a teammate. He'll have Mark Kaylen outside him. Brandon Walter, Mike Tumer Jr. He talked about the story, and I think it's appropriate. Mike Tumer Jr. is up in P6. Here we are with just about 6 minutes to go. In fact, right on the clock there. And Mike Tumer could walk away with a pretty solid run this evening. Lights in the pace car out. Going to try and get this lined up here. So we might get one more restart if needed. Hopefully we don't. Let's see what happens. Happy you're with us here on Green Flag TV. Derrick Watson, Emmett Crow, Dustin Ollis down in the booth. Getting ready to watch Richard Regan, Reese Bogue, and more take a restart at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
They're side by side.
And they go down into turns 1 and 2, mostly 2 wide all the way back through the field. Look at Mike Tumer Jr. up about 3 wide at New Hampshire. He wants to try and make it work. He makes it stick. He's making a pass. But up front, Bogue, or more Regan then Bogue are your top 2 in that order.
Yeah, and for Bradley Holly,
Oh, look at this.
it's looking like the tire strategy is going to cost him this race possibly. Unbelievable.
Well, still about 5 minutes of racing to go. We'll see what happens side by side. That's Morgan and that's Kaylen. Remember, Morgan, no tires. Kaylen on 2 tires. So you'd think Kaylen not only having the outside advantage, but also have a bit of a better run.
Oh,
Oh, big wiggle in the back here. Oh, boy, Mark Kaylen leaned on James Morgan right there. He wants to get up to RBM. He wants to battle those drivers who don't have the tires. He's now cleared James Morgan, and he begins his journey into the front of the field.
but let me ask you this. Bradley Holly's sitting in P5. He's right there looking in. Do you think he has enough time if he gets around Morgan and Kaylen and Bogue? Do you think he can challenge Regan?
No, I don't think he's in the time to get around those 3 and make the battle. There was Mark Kaylen way loose to the bottom and saved that race car. That was Mark Kaylen at the bottom. Yeah, that's now going to put Bradley Holly and James Morgan. Remember I said I didn't think Bradley Holly had the time to pass them? Well, Kaylen made it easier.
Stacey Hunter's going to get a
All
meatball.
right. Sounds like that's going to be from contact with Jacob Watson based upon the apologies across the driver's radio. There's Mark Kaylen, scrubbed the wall, got loose, and got it saved, and we stay green flag racing. Well, up front now, look at this. I said I didn't
there they go.
Oh, there's a wreck in the back. Hopefully we stay green as Jacob Watson. He's going to, that black and green truck will let us keep green flag racing. Well, here's that question you asked. 3.5 minutes to go. Bradley Holly is clear. He's got 4 tires. Can he catch the leaders? Going to find out. There's Stacey Hunter. Oh, by himself got loose. That blew that motor. That truck is done. Here's a battle right out back with Morgan and Kaylen. This is for P4 and P5.
Now, Bogue got a great run out of that turn.
Morgan makes the pass, or sorry, Kaylen makes the pass on Morgan. That's the advantage of 2 tires over no tires. But you're right, the story right now is that 3rd place truck. It's Bradley Holly. He has 4 fresh tires, but he's currently behind by a second on Richard Regan Jr.
Yeah, and there's the split right there, 2/10. But if he can get around Bogue, I think he's got a shot, guys.
Keep an eye on it. Remember, not that long to go. Lap times at New Hampshire, about 30 seconds. You think he's got about 5, maybe 6, maybe 4 laps to go here. Wait and see how the timer works out. The other advantage Holly has, a bit of a draft off a respoke. Not a word we use a lot in New Hampshire. When you're trying to run someone down, that draft may help you a little bit.
Yeah, as we see, as Bradley Holly almost got to his quarter panel.
Bradley Holly wiggled. He almost got loose out of the corner.
Yeah, he's driving the wheels off that thing, trying to get around Bogue to challenge Regan, but it's going to take a lot to get to Regan. Look at that. That is
not just the face, look at the
right
wheel.
there.
That was a lot of fighting of that wheel for being 4 new tires.
Man, look at him, just determined. Well, that's the thing. Like I said, he's driving the wheels off that thing, trying to find something to find somewhere where it sticks. Look at that. Oh, my God.
Whoa. My goodness. He is giving it everything he's got. That's the race.
And that's going to bring out a caution.
But a minute and a half to go. We will not go green again. That is going to effectively end this race.
Can't believe that's what brought it out after we saw the tough hit from Stacy Hunter and just getting just a little bit loose and just tapping the wall just a little bit.
Watch Thomas Sink here is going to get loose in front of the race field. That's why right there. You get loose in front of the race field, that's the Iris is going to trigger it 100 out of 100 times. And that is going to effectively end this race at New Hampshire. Well, an amazing race, a few lead changes, some exciting moments, some beating, some banging, some tire strategy. But ultimately, it seems, Emmett, as if possibly no tires was the correct call.
Yeah, and, Bradley Holly has got to be, look at this. He's driving the wheels off that thing. He had the fresh tires, but I think he burned them up trying to get around Reese Moak.
Yeah, you said surprising that Thomas Sinks would brought out the caution. It probably should have been Bradley Holly losing the truck out of this corner that brought out the caution. I thought for sure that was going to be your caution then in the race. But regardless of caution, I think after Brad lost that corner right there, that was likely the end of his journey up to P1. Well, we're going to begin Season 3 the way we've run other seasons with a driver and the 56 truck, maybe a new paint, but same driver. He'll come around here one more time as the clock expires, and we'll see yet another race victory for the Neonism paint of Richard Regan Jr., a native up to the New England area, as known to have success here across the league, your Season 1 champion, really until his technical gremlins in Season 2 probably was likely to be your Season 2 champion, Emmett. He'll now be your first winner in Season 3.
Well, that's like in Season 1. I remember we were at Dover, and he had the flu and got out of the race and then went on to win the championship after dominating the series. But, yeah, great job for RBM finishing 1-2 also.
Come around this time. Here it is. The checkered flag is out. Barney the flagman waves it. And Richard Regan is officially your winner at New Hampshire. We'll all come around here. He'll get some congratulatory bumps and some mentions in the voice chat. Mark Kaylee to the outside there. And more. Well, at this point, I think it is time to get into our Regan Bogue Motorsports post-race show. You know what, Regan Bogue Motorsports, speed is just the starting point. Success, however, is built through discipline, focus, and development. At RBM, their racing and iRacing coaching is built to develop winners through one-on-one coaching. The focus is on the fundamentals that turn fast drivers into smart champions with smart racecraft, disciplined decision-making, and pressure-proof performance. This is not about quick fixes. It's about building a foundation for lasting success. Regan Bogue Motorsports, developed for wins, built for championships. Well, they say this 56 truck likely built for a championship once again if he wants it, as he does the burnouts here across the start-finish line. Well, you're seeing some burnout here, Emmett. Let's see if we can get a big burnout down the track. How long can he keep it going? We've seen drivers get about as far as turn 4, but I think he's, well, maybe. I thought he'd lost it for a second, but here comes that burnout. Running for a pretty long one.
Yeah, And I was gonna say, when you were doing the ad read and they were running, they ran 1-2. This was like a commercial, perfect showing of that RBM coaching, getting that 1-2 finish here at Loudon for sure.
I would definitely agree with that. Well, let's do this. Let's take a look at tonight's unofficial results here at New Hampshire. Richard Regan Jr. is your winner with Reese Bogue coming in P2. Bradley Holly, Mark Keelan, James Morgan, your top 5. Robert Barney, Kyle Dewey, Mike Tumer, Steve Levy, and Colton Easterday round out your top 10.
Yeah, at 11th, we're going to find Brandon Walter. And 12th, we're going to find Jeff Evans. 13th, Jacob Dunn. 14th, Nick Byer. 15th, Nicholas Acosta. 16th, Jacob Watson. 17th, Thomas Sink. 18th, Nicholas Saraf. And 19th, Zach Williams. And 20th, Ted Lowendick.
On down here, there's going to be trucks that are being 5 or more laps down. Daniel Knight, Stacy Hunter, James O'Brien, Zachary Burnt, Dustin Bumgarner, Evan Williams, and Nicholas Hunter round out a 27-car field. That's a look top to bottom at tonight's unofficial results here for the Outlap Motorsports Truck Series. We'll wait a moment for our race winner to become available and wait for him to finish up his celebrations. But again, an amazing night here, a great way to kick off the season here. What's going to be an exciting round 1. And well, the driver who came into tonight P2 in the playoffs will win tonight, and he'll have an easy path here through the playoffs after that victory. Wait and see if we can find Richard Regan Jr., see if he is in fact available. So let's do this. We're going to do things, I guess, in reverse order while we wait for Richard Regan Jr. to become available. We're going to start with the driver who finished in P3 this evening. We're going to catch up with Bradley Holly. Brad, we were watching your webcam and across the last 2 or 3 green flag laps. You looked determined. You looked angry. You looked a little focused on trying to get around Reese Bogue.
Angry is one way to put it. Just played the start of the race perfectly, got a good lead, didn't make a mistake on the green flag stop, and then cautions came out. Then there was a big checkup on a restart, gave me damage, which completely changed the handling of the car, and just I couldn't catch Reese or Richard after that.
So obviously the damage is the damage, but looking back on it, do you still feel as though 4 tires was the right call?
Oh, 100%. It definitely was. There was a good enough advantage to where tires meant a lot, and I felt like I easily could have gotten to him if I didn't have damage. Once his tires heated up, I felt like I was going to be at least 2 or 3 tenths faster. But it is what it is. I'm going to have to move on.
All right. Well, what's new in the Lego room?
Nothing. I haven't got anything yet. Yeah, I got other things to pay for. Recently got in a wreck, so I had to go take my truck in and just, had to go deal with insurance and all that fun stuff.
Fair enough. Well, listen, it's a pleasure racing. Next week we go to Kansas. What's the outlook for that?
It's going to be probably tires saving and figuring out low line, high line, when to go to each line, and maybe we have fuel mileage race. We'll have to see, because Kansas is definitely on throttle a lot more than we were today.
Fair enough. Well, listen, it's a pleasure watching your race. Thanks for what you do, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is Bradley Holly coming home in P3. And I know we talked to him earlier, but we're going to talk to him again as Emmett Crow is going to catch up with Reese Bogue.
Reese Bogue, we talked about, y'all had the little contact coming out of the pits, but talk about this has got to be huge for RBM moving forward in the playoffs. Y'all finished 1-2. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see me and Rich 1 and 2, and especially in his girlfriend sponsored night, who with some of my real life racing stuff, she helps me out with interior and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to see us get a 1-2 in tonight's race, and technically both of our home tracks. Well, so really cool. I kind of said earlier in the earlier interview, just sucks we had a little contact on pit road. I wish I did a little more practice. Just I was running tight on time with work and all the real life racing work I have going on this weekend. So just run a little tight in time, but it was a good fun race, good clean race. You can actually pass, which is cool, and have different lines to move around, see what worked best for you.
Yeah, and it looked you did a great job keeping Bradley Holly back there. Talk about how you were able to keep him and hold him off for that second place finish.
Yeah, I think the yellows definitely helped for sure. When me and Rich stayed out on our tires, and I believe about 3/4 of the field pit for tires. So those yellows and the couple 3 to 4 car gap we had in between helped a ton. But once Brad kind of got there, just kind of taking his exit away, I mean, I let him get the entry he wanted, but able to just kind of take his exit away and keep his straightaway speed down helped me a ton, just getting run off the corner and not to say pinching, but like I said, just taking away his momentum.
All right, well, y'all go enjoy those Kaylee Sweet Creation cupcakes, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hope to be there. Hope to do a couple more races this season than I have in the past couple seasons. But want to give a shout out to Regan Bug Motorsports, Stint Analyzer, my mom, dad for watching, and everybody else that puts us on.
See you in Kansas, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Derrick?
Spoke coming home P2 this evening, and now we get a chance to catch up with the driver who starts the season with the W. And I guess as Reese Bogart sort of intimated, Richard, you're going to win the race named after your significant other's cupcake business.
Yeah, home track at Loudon, and then my girlfriend's Sweet Creations business as a sponsor for tonight, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm just glad to finally be back in victory lane after a couple of weeks off with some issues, and just glad to be back at it.
Well, I guess you saved her the shipping cost on the on the winning cupcake. I guess you could say you got that for her. So tonight you worked through the field. I mean, you're up 11 spots officially on the night, so you qualified kind of mid-pack. But how do you make your way to the front? Was it just a correct pit stop call, or what do you think led you up there?
Well, starting before the green flag pit stop, just being aggressive. I'm trying to dial in this new VR headset I got, so it's still a little wonky and makes me nauseous most of the time. But messed up on my Q lap, so tried to be aggressive a little bit early on in the race. And watching some videos of people doing C-Fixed at Loudon this week, I noticed that like pretty much you could run the apron early and gain a lot of time. So that's pretty much what I started doing, and just started running lower than everybody else, trying to get around them. And as long as you get the drive off the corner, by the time you get into the next corner, you're pretty much going to be in front of them. So just trying to get track position. Once I got behind Brad, I tried to settle in there, but I was missing a little something. But overall, a pretty good night for Regan Big Motorsports. Unfortunately, James had some computer issues that dropped him out, but he'll be back next week.
All right. Well, a great race for you, a great start to the season, a great stamp to put on the playoff run in Season 3. So pretty solid performance. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Neonism Paints. If you need a paint, go to facebook.com/neonism and tell them that Premier Sim Racing sent you. Regenberg Motorsports, Stint Analyzer, Mission 22, Multiple Sclerosis Society, Outlap Motorsports, all the associates that came on board for Season 3 for Premier Sim Racing, everyone that helps put the league on, and then you guys at Green Flag TV.
Well, we appreciate you as well, Richard. Congrats on the win. Go celebrate, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up tonight's interviews in the Regan Bogue Motorsports post-race show. And Emmett, for a track that has a lot of moments of hard to pass, we saw some great moments here tonight.
Yeah, we saw some great moments, and who would have thought, at the beginning when we saw Richard Regan start in P12, that he'd be up in victory lane at the end of this thing. Unbelievable job.
I would agree. Well, listen, next up, stay tuned for the post-race coverage for the Beer League season finale at Fuji. That's coming up next. First, I want to say once again, congratulations to Richard Regan Jr. on winning here tonight at New Hampshire. Next week, Kansas, September 24th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is next up on the docket. I want to thank you for tuning in here live on Green Flag TV. If you missed this race or any race from the Premier Sim Racing Outlap Motorsports Truck Series, you can catch them on the Green Flag TV YouTube channel. For Emmett Crow and Dustin Ollis, I am Derrick Watson saying so long and good night from New Hampshire.